Hello, people, and welcome. And thank you for tuning into our Bettery Hub channel's professional series. And I would like to first of all start by giving advance wishes to all our Indian viewers. Happy Diwali, and for the non-Indians, have an awesome holiday. Now, Bettery Hub channel professional series has always been your weekly dose, talking about transformative business ideas, and we bring on, professionals out to share their experiences and what they have been doing that actually made them where they are today. So, of course, today itself, because of a lot of requests, and I've been getting a lot of conversations, or I've been having a lot of conversations recently of people, talking about the importance of professional development, and then how does personal development come into the place. And with the current situation where people are looking for opportunities, people are looking to embark themselves to the next level in terms of their career progression, I thought it will be an appropriate time for me to actually share some of these things. Now, before we move on, I would like to be clear. I'm not talking, or I'm not here to share with you as a guru or an expert in this, but I'm here to share more of my own personal experience that I had with my partner Iskandar, both with Bettery Lab, as well as the associate director in the financial industry. So with that, we'll move on. But I think the most important or the key thing is it's not a one-way, as live chats. It's always about two-way communication, right? So any point of time, you have any questions, you have any comments, if you think that these are things that you feel that should be done, feel free to leave us your comments along the way during the live chat, so we can make sure that all of you guys, the viewers, you can share your own experience, and you can share whatever information that you have or experiences that you have to the rest of us. So with that, let's move on. Now, one of the key questions, right, that I get very, always, during a conversation, what do professional growth and personal development mean, and why should I do that, right? Now, if you really sit down and think about it, we always talk about when we are setting out to do goals, some or other professional growth or professional development becomes a very key integral part of our goal settings. We list out things like, I want to work for that promotion, I want to work for this project. If you're a business owner, for example, I want to talk about a certain level of revenue that I want to achieve in my business. I want to expand, I want to get certain clients. So we always make sure that there's certain high level of professional developments that are actually in place when we are doing up goals. Now, in this case, when I say professional growth, it's about, either being really good and prepare yourself for the current role you're doing, whether you are a new business owner or going to embark into a career, or you are already in a career that, you are taking on a role and you want to make sure that you are up to the mark for that role. Or if you are someone who's talking about taking another role, the next level, and how do I prepare myself? And if you're somebody who's looking into embarking on a business or already a startup, for example, so how do I prepare myself to go to the next level? So this is where the professional development comes in. Now, interestingly, for myself, a lot of you know that I was from the military. I was a commissioned officer. I was a ranger. I was airborne, 11 years, close to 12 years, and I was a captain going major. And there's one point of time that I realized that, hey, look, I love the SAF. It's been a good place. I meet great people, and I get excited every day. But there's one point of time I felt, hey, look, there's something more that I'm looking out for, and I wanted more. And that is when I decided to embark onto something different, some level of professional growth that I wanted to do. Yes, of course, there was no issues for me to stay, but what I aspired and what I wanted, I felt that, the organization that I was in at that point of time may not be able to give me. So I decided to move on. But the biggest question and the biggest concern I had was, all right, will I be able to, with the experience I've had, with the skill sets and the knowledge, the level of knowledge and skill sets I have at this point of time, will I be able to embark? Because, change of career or working towards professional development, right, means it takes up a lot of time, and it is about, dollars and cents. So there's always this big worry, right? Whether am I prepared enough and so on. So this is where, during my experience, I realized that when I decided to go on business, it's not just about taking the first step, and it's not about just working on professional development, but a lot of our personal development plays an integral part or important part as the fundamentals of us to do well. Now, an example. Now, when prior to a Bettery lab, I always wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to be a trainer. I want to talk to people. But the question was I trained? Am I able to do that? Yes, in the army, in the SAF, I've been a company commander. I've dealt with a man as big as, or with companies as big as 100+ people. I've managed them. I've led them. So I thought, why not? That's enough. But I realized that it was not enough, because when I was out there, I was not able to engage people as well as I thought I could. And that is where I realized that I need to improve my communication skills much better to the level that I desired, so that, my personal development in that skill set will allow me to also have a growth in my professional domain. So this is where, we are going to touch on certain key areas and how this professional growth and personal development actually are somehow or other affiliated with each other, and how you can actually, we are in going towards November, and December has come soon, and soon a lot of us are going to sit on our goal setting. So I think this will be an appropriate time to share some of these points. Right now, first of all, why is professional development important? Now, can you imagine waking up every single day and not feeling excited because you are doing your job and you know that it's something that you have been doing day in, day out, and you are good at it, and that's it. Suddenly a lot of you may have felt. Now, I've been having this conversation with a lot of you guys, where you were sharing and telling me that, I don't feel excited about going to work. I don't feel the, I don't feel, how do I get motivated? Now, my question is, motivation has to be intrinsic. It must come within. Eccentric motivation is when you listen to, motivational videos, speakers, and you read books. Yeah, you get motivated maybe 2-3 days, and then you are back to the normal. So to have intrinsic motivation, the question is, what excites you? Are you doing things in your day-to-day job or in your career, or even, as a business owner? Are you doing things that excites you every day? Do you see yourself growing? Now, there was an old saying, Ranger saying that, anything that does not grow is as good as dead. So can you imagine waking up every single day knowing that you are not growing, and you are not doing something new? You're not picking up new skill sets. You have nothing to look forward for. Or, and you just hope that, I'll go with the flow. I've been there. Prior to SAF, I've been with that go with the flow mode, where I just decided, let things come. But after some time, you realize that, hey, what's next? And that is where, you realize that nothing excites you. You wake up in the morning, you're just doing your mundane job, you go to office, or you meet your clients, and so what's next? So you need to really, really be clear that professional development is important to keep you going to the next level, and to keep you going to the, there are times when, anyway, hi Vanan, thank you so much. Vanan is always great. Anyway, for the viewers out there, Vanan is doing a talk on Royal Enfield motorbikes. Recently, I saw his post. He's an awesome guy, and I would like to once again thank Vanan. When we started this live chat, he was one of the key people who actually supported and encouraged me. And in fact, we have a lot of long talks about all the equipment that we can use and so on. Thanks, Vanan, for joining in. And and please leave your comments as we go on. Right. So as we were going on, right? So, why is professional development important? Now, one of the key things that I've noticed or I've seen is you never want to be in a level where, you go up the ladder and that's it. What's next? You got nowhere to go. I think this is where a lot of us even felt, during my conversations with a lot of you guys, I even been told that, I feel helpless. I don't know what to do. Maybe this is not the career. This is not what I want to do. But the question is it really not? Is it really because this may not be something that you want to do, or is it because you do not know what to do next? You don't have a clear vision. You don't know what to do next to actually have to work towards your professional growth. I think this is where it triggered me to start thinking, why do people feel this way? Now, I felt that way before. As I said, right, I was in an organization and I was doing well, or I would say fairly well, better than more than average. I was Ranger, Captain, going major, stable income and everything. But, suddenly I felt this. It's like, what's next? So the question is, instead of just taking on steps or just feeling helpless, the whole idea is to be control of what you want to do in terms of your professional development. And take note that while you are working on that, there are a lot of things that you got to be. I've talked about this before. You need to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because you got to do change. You need to learn new stuff, new skill sets. You got to get yourself out of your comfort zone, and this is where excitement starts. So the key thing is, professional development is important to keep you going on. So what I'm going to do is specifically, I'm going to actually focus on 5 ways, all right, that you can manage your professional, your personal and professional development. Now, these are from the experts that I spoke to, and these are things that, in fact, when I learn things from people, when people teach me or give me a direction, my biggest belief is, to implement it on the ground. That is where you are able to validate whether it works or it doesn't work, at least for me. So anything that worked for me, and I have coached quite a couple of business owners, and people out there, and whenever I suggest to them that, hey, look, why don't you do these steps? These steps have worked, right? So the key is, take note. Let's talk about the 5 ways that we can actually manage your personal and professional development. And from there, please take out a pen and a paper, write down this stuff, and start thinking. And hopefully, it triggers a thought process that you start thinking, yeah, this is what I want to do. Now, first of all, the first thing that I always believe in is, you got to set a clear goal about what you want to achieve. All right. Now, this is the difference between somebody who knows his direction. He knows what he wants. Now, how are you going to get it? How are you going to go about doing it? Now, at this stage, it's not your problem. All right. It's definitely not your problem at this stage. All right. Because sometimes what happens is that when we set goals, we tend to limit ourselves because we think, hey, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I'll be able to talk to a big group of 500 people, 1,000 people. Where am I going to get that kind of people? Who's going to listen to me? So I don't think that's possible. Now, put that how out of the way. List down the clear goals that you want to achieve. All right, put it down. Now, while you're doing this, just a suggestion. There are a few ways, right? Now, I used to tell guys, every year the highest registration or the highest registration in any gyms, right, is usually in the December and January period, where you have people who are hyped up. They say, I got resolution, I want to be fit, I want to get my washboard abs, I want to lose weight, and so on. It goes on. I want to live a healthy lifestyle. They register to a gym. They, and that's it. And by the time it's March, April, you realize that these people don't end up coming to the gym. They may be paying for their membership, but they don't end up. Why? Because they got all the reasons. Oh, I have no time, and so on. So the key thing is, when you are doing up your goals, don't just, if possible. Now, for me, what I do is that I try to look at the bigger picture. Now, not too far. I'll talk about this later. At least about 3 years up, if you can. About 3 years. 3 years is enough time for you to get things done. All right, and dream a bit bigger than what you want to achieve. And at the same time, it's not too far out for you to, to work towards. All right. So once you have a picture, a clear goal of what you want, 3 years down the road, then you break it down to 2 years, 1 year, and then whatever you need to do, your first step that you got to achieve will be your that year's goal. Now, let me give you an example. Now, when I want to work towards my directorship, I knew that I can't do it within 1 year, but I wanted to do it, right? So what I could do is that I could just say, I want to become a director. And then I just work, do whatever that's required. But then, after the first year, I realized that, it takes definitely more than 3 years. So what happens if, after 1 year, you realize that I will get a bit demoralized because I still got a long way to go, and I'm still trying to have this big goal. So the whole idea is break down the goal into smaller parts, right? So, but the key thing at this stage is list down things, clear goals that you want to achieve. Now, whether you are talking about your career progression, if let's say you want to take on a particular role, what is it that you want? If you want, and if you want to actually take on a particular project, what is it that you want? Now, if there's a certain revenue that you want to achieve, what is the amount? So be clear, be concise. My suggestion is take some time to really go to a quiet place. Now, for me, the best is, usually when I go to my run, I come back, I sit down in the park, I write down all this stuff. So find a quiet time for you to think and write down your goals. Now, once you have this list of goals, right, what's happened next is, now be intentional. You will start realizing that as you look at certain things, right, your clear goals, some of it, not everything will be professional. Some of it will be personal development. Like, for example, I shared, right? Communication skills is still a personal development. And you know that in order for me to be really good in giving presentations, I need to improve, or I need to have a personal development, which is on communication skills, things like my time and activity management. Now, it could be habit, but it is still a skill set that you can learn. All right. So once you list out those things, it could be some kind of a knowledge that you want to acquire. For example, when I wanted to say that I wanted to have a live chat, I wanted to do a channel for myself, and I knew that I will never be able to get a channel in MediaCorp, right? At least for now. But the first step is to start a channel in social media platform. So this is where, when I started this, I had to list out my training intentionally, put out that I need to have a platform, I need to get, in fact, to the point where I managed to have my boom mics, I learned stuff, how to go about fixing it up, and so on. So these are things that you do deliberately. So list out, be intentional in your development plan. What are the key things that you need to do, and so on, and list it out. And the third point is, now look for the right opportunities, all right, and take those opportunities when it comes. Now, one example I can give you is when I first started off, I left the SAF, I started embarking on the financial planning industry. But this goal of being a trainer, be a speaker, was something that was with me. And I realized that because of virtue of being in the military, and in a place where, the culture was regimentation and so on, I realized that the way I spoke to people was always very authoritative. And I needed to be a bit more relaxed. I need to go out there and talk to more people, to really, really discover my communication skills. So one of the biggest suggestions I was given is, go to Toastmasters. So I decided to join Toastmasters. I decided to, take on their projects, just go out there, talk to people, present, do a lot of presentations. And as and when an opportunity, even within my company and, out of there, where I can actually give talks. I volunteered, I went up, and because it takes a lot of preparation, so I volunteered, I went up, and I just was more than happy to take that opportunity to give these talks. Now, when I did that, what happened was that I got exposed to a lot of this, and I got better in terms of getting the good experiences, things that I thought that I could improve on, and then I worked on more. So look for and take the right opportunities as it comes. It will come, so long as you are, so long you're looking out for it. It's the same concept, right? When you think about something and you say that, hey, I'm looking for these specific opportunities, you realize that it will be visible for you. It's not that it suddenly appears; it has been there all the while. It's just that you'll be able to see it better. So look for it and take the opportunity when it comes. Now, the fourth point will be discuss your career plans with someone you trust. Now, this is important. So if you are working in a company, if you are employed, go to your manager, somebody you trust, somebody you feel who will be able to bring you to the next level, and discuss with them your career plans. Talk to them and look. Why? Because usually in certain organizations, they decide, the leaders or the managers or the superiors decide what kind of training is required for you. So when you discuss your plans with them, they will be able to guide you, to tell you, oh yeah, these are the things that you are required to do. And they can also suggest you some avenues in terms of what kind of training you can go, what kind of opportunities that can be given to you, so that it can augment your existing career plans and efforts that you are embarking on. Now, if you're a business owner, now let me use myself and my partner Iskandar as an example. Now, what we do is we know we are doing business. And as an entrepreneur, the best thing to do is to, of course, go for trainings, attend certain skill sets and knowledge. But I think what's more important for me was to tap on the experience that people have. So some key examples I can give you, the recent times was when I embarked on a coaching session, or we embarked at Bettery Lab, embarked on a coaching session with R. Sasikumar, the Blade of God, right? He has been in the business. I mean, he has been a business owner and entrepreneur for the longest of time, and he's been a sports coach. And we, approached him. He first of all, of course, he came to the live chat. We approached him, and we were clear about what are our goals. We had a chat with him, and then we came up with intentional training programs. We sat down. We did coaching. Now, another person I look up to is actually Mr. Suresh Nair. He right now is an entrepreneur and is actually the head trainer at Sales. And we just met up with him not long ago, last week, and we discussed our plans, what we want to do. And we listened, and we realized that we got a lot of feedback on areas we can improve on, areas that we should do. So I think the whole idea is consistently look for somebody you trust and discuss your career plans with them. Talk to them, all right? And sometimes you'll be surprised that there are certain things that they can suggest to you that will be really, really useful for you to use it and to bring you to the next level. Now, the next one is set goals and measure your progress. Now, this is where, you have a list of goals, all right? Clear goals out there, and you have an intentional plan. You're very intentional and you plan out, okay, these are the development plan I have. And then you are also looking out for the right opportunities. Now, sometimes looking out for the right opportunities doesn't mean you got to just wait and it comes. That is by the way. But you can already start while in your planning phase to start seeing what are the key things that I can do. What are the opportunities? Now, for me, I think one of the opportunity, again, an example was, now I knew that, I'm driven by challenges naturally. I need to have something that will need to, be challenging for me, to excite me to do something. So I think what I did was that I decided, since I'm at Toastmasters and they have speech contests, whether it's impromptu, whether it's humorous contest, whether it's international speech contest, they do it certain parts of the year. So I specifically planned that, okay, I'm going to get involved in this speech contest and I'm going to go for the win. And I'm going to start preparing now. So these were intentional goals, and I actually set those goals. And the good thing is that when I set goals, the most important thing is measuring the progress, right? Because a lot of time, people actually set goals, big goals especially, right? But the thing is, they always don't focus on measuring their progress, all right? So it's important. So if you ask me, I measure my progress weekly, all right? So which means I have a 3-year goal, and I break it down to yearly goals. That is where the goal setting starts. And then I break it down to monthly, and I know what is it I'm supposed to achieve. And I work it down to weekly, all right? So now what happens is that I know this week or end of the week, it has been an awesome week if I have done A, B, C, all right? And that makes me feel that it's a fulfilling week. If I have not done, why? And what can I do to make sure that the following week I'm able to achieve those things? And in fact, I've come to learn that recently that it became a day-to-day activity. So every day when I wake up, I got 7 days a week, and I'll make sure that one day of the week, which is Sunday, is for family. It's for me to relax, for myself. My afternoon nap times. So these are things that I left it for myself. And apart from that, 6 days a week, I tell myself that there are certain key areas that I want to work on. For example, personal development, my fitness. To be fit, to be healthy, to go for my runs, and I also need to do a certain level of tasks that will allow me, whether it's preparation, studying, and so on, and certain level of appointments I got to meet my clients, certain level of coaching I got to do for my team. So once I break it up, so end of the day when I come back home, a lot of us would have felt that it's been a long and tough day, but I feel that what have I achieved? So when I did this, when I listed it down, and I do it the night before, the things that I want to do, I list it out and I'll put it in my calendar. And of course, as time went on, now I got a PA who reminds me these are the things you got to do. But prior to that, it's like listing it out. And what I'll do is that every time I finish it, of course, right now we can use our phone, right? There are many apps out there. But once I've done it, I just cancel it off. And so end of the day, when I look at the list of things that I'm supposed to do, I realize that, wow, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. And sometimes I've done more than what I expected. And that's awesome. All right. So I think that's the key thing. You break up your goals, and you need to have a very clear measure of your progress. Now, another thing that I would like to share on the measure of progress, all right, this is something that I learned from Ranger course. Now, I would like to share this because I used to talk or use this example to a lot of the people that I usually, have my coaching session with. It's, Ranger course is a 60 days course. All right. And I'm an impatient person. I'm not patient to really sit down and, wait for things to happen. So it's a 60 days course. And how I went past the 60 days is not counting down, I got 59 days left. I got 58 days left. I didn't go day by day. Now, how I did was when I woke up in the morning, I waited for my breakfast, which means we wake up, or our reveille was at about 4 a.m. We do PT and so on. Yeah, we only have 4 hours of sleep anyway. So we sleep at 12 and wake up at 4 every single day. That's if you are in camp. If you are in the field, uh, God knows, our sleeping hours are all dependent on where we can find time to sleep. So, as I was saying, from that 4 a.m., I'll just work towards that 6 a.m. for my breakfast. The question is survive, do what I need to do, don't get injured, and just keep doing it. Now, once I eat my breakfast, the next thing is from now, I need to survive till 12 p.m. for my lunch. Now, when I say survive, I'm talking about don't get injured, do your task well, and be really good in what you do, and don't burn out. Don't overdo it. So at 12, I go for my lunch, and then from 12, it's like, let's work towards dinner. Survive, let's move on. And that happened. And then after dinner was night snack. That was about like 10, 11 o'clock. And then, work towards, your nights off. And this happened every single day. Though my bigger goal was that 60th day to graduate for Ranger and to do my tasks and everything. But it was that day-to-day small little goals that I focused on. Now, this is where I say the progress, right? You focus on the progress. So now coming back to our goals itself, now that's the key to a lot of successful people that I've talked to. Whenever I ask them, how are you achieving such big goals and things and balancing your time? They told me that they actually break it down into smaller parts and they just focus on their progress for each of it. So a common question, Sakti, how do you wake up in the morning? How do you go to work? You do so many stuff in your business. You still have time for your run, and you still, do so many other stuff like, your live shows and everything. How do you manage your time? Now, I usually tell them that there's a bigger goal for that. I have a bigger picture that's in place, and I break it down. So day by day, I just break it down, and I wake up in the morning, and it excites me each time I finish a task successfully, and that makes my day exciting. So I think these are the simple things. Now, sometimes you look about it, whatever I'm sharing with you are simple things. I mean, you just go to Google, you can find all this information any point of time. So it's never an issue to find this information. But the question is, how many people actually implement and practice this? So this is what I've been doing. Now, it may be simple 5 steps, as I was saying, to set a clear goal and, what you want to achieve, be intentional and plan your development plan, right? Look for and take the right opportunities, discuss your career plans with someone you trust, and of course, last of all, and most importantly, set goals and measure your progress, which means your action plan. All right, and review your plans. For me, I review my plans every quarterly. Every 3 months, I sit down and say, where am I? Am I in the right direction? Am I too slow? Am I too fast? Fast is good, but also, make sure the quality is also up to the standards that I want. So these are the 5 things that I've been using consistently, and I've been coaching and talking to the junior guys who I meet up with, the other business owners and so on. And it has worked for them as well. I can say that confidently. All right, it has worked. But I think the key is to getting into the groove of starting to do these things. So now, once you have done this, you have a very clear picture of where you're heading towards. Now, this is where it's on top of the 5 things is develop yourself and develop your brand. What do you want to be known for? When, one of the biggest questions I ask myself, when Shakti is mentioned or when anybody talks about Shakti, what is it they want or what is it that I want them to remember me for? What is my brand? All right. Do I want them to see me as an entrepreneur? Do I want them to see as a fitness fanatic guy, or do I want them to just see a guy who just loves excited about life? Whatever. All right. You find that you need to develop your brand, and in order to develop your brand, it's about developing yourself, and it will you will slowly understand. I will call this more of an a journey where you become more self-aware about yourself, about your strength, about your weaknesses, and what really excites you. And then it's a journey. It's a journey. For me, it has been an exciting journey. I will say that, and I'm still excited that it's going to be a journey that I got to still move ahead because, as I said, big goals means I got to still going on. But one thing that I love to do is when I learn something, I like to share. And that's why the whole live chat was about, is to share. And the key reason why, again, I decided to go into this topic instead of inviting a guest was because I thought, since I've been talking to quite a lot of people and this was a common concern that people had, I might as well, have a short session to just share these points so they can be useful for many of you. So with that, I hope this has been useful for you. The only awesome thing about live chats is that it's something that you can always go back. You can see the videos. So thank you for those of you who joined in and gave your comments, and so do feel free, even after this live chat, to leave your comments on areas and things that we can improve on topics that you want me to share, because sometimes I'm not the expert for everything, so I will get the right person to come on the show to share some of these things. And even yourself, if you think that there is some things that you want to share with our viewers and audience, feel free, just message me, and we are more than happy to bring you on to our live show and get you to share things. So with that, now no live chat is complete without you, the viewers, right? So thank you so much, and spending the morning with me. And now again, leave your comments and feedback so that we will be able to do it better. I mean, that's our key tagline. We always believe in improving and doing it better. So now it's time to say goodbye. Once again, have an awesome weekend. I know it's Thursday, but it's going to be Friday, and then it's Deepavali, festive season, long holiday. So enjoy, stay safe, eat wisely. Still, doesn't mean that you just go about eating all the quiz and all these things. So stay safe, eat wisely, and so remember, there was none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only Shakti. So with that, yours truly. See you next week. Next week, we're going to get a awesome speaker who's going to come on as a guest for our Life by Design program. So with that, keep moving forward. Thank you.